It is a beautiful evening in Lexington, Kentucky. Similar to that Tuesday morning 20 years ago when so many lost their lives. We will always pay tribute to them by doing the things that we all love all over this great country, and we will never forget. Welcome to SEC Network Football presented by T-Mobile. Tonight in Lexington at Kroger Field, it's the Kentucky Wildcats and the Missouri Tigers for the first conference matchup of the 2021 season. This has been quite the rivalry in recent years.
Game on the line in the Southeastern Conference on a Saturday night. The last play of regulation. Punts, throws, and it's incomplete. Cats survive. One play for the win. End zone, touchdown. How in the world?
That's the butt ugliest win I've ever seen. Did you see it? Roundtree right there, big shot, putting his hand up, hey, help me out. Wrong sideline, it's not gonna happen.
My whole roster's now beating Kentucky. Done, I got a 24-hour rule. I'm gonna enjoy rock and roll tequila and shout out Bob Stoops.
In recent history, this game literally is as tight as you could possibly make it as the Cats come out on the field wearing all blue with that American flag draped over their shoulders. Here come the Tigers, trying to win in Lexington for the first time in 8 years. And here's how competitive this series has been. They've scored exactly the same amount of points in the Mark Stoops era. In the last 8 meetings, Kentucky has gotten 5 of them. We expect another one to go to the wire tonight. With the College Football Hall of Famer Matt Stinchcomb, I'm Taylor Zarzour. Alyssa Lang is on the field. Stinch, a big difference this year. Kentucky can throw the forward pass. They've got Will Levis, the transfer from Penn State at quarterback, and they brought in offensive coordinator Liam Cohen from the Los Angeles Rams, and they set all kinds of records last week in the win against Louisiana Monroe.
Not only the forward pass, the leading passing offense, and they did it off of play action on early downs. So you give a heavy run look out of a run formation on first down, clean pocket, baits the defense up, an open receiver in Wan'Dale Robinson downfield. This time, no pulling linemen, but you have a zone blocking look to the left. You've got maximum protection capabilities. That gives a quarterback not only a clean look into the secondary, but a comfortable pocket to set up his platform. Same type of concept. They run the football out of this look. They are now throwing this football down the field as well. The play-action passing game powered what proved to be a record-setting day. 419 yards, 257 of those came on first down in the arm of that man, Will Levis. And you see the balance that they had on first down. That were 2-to-1 last year on first down, run to pass. Now it's 1-to-1. And defensively, you don't know what you may be getting from this Kentucky offense on those first down looks.
Eli Drinkwitz, the head coach at Missouri, says, well, that looks familiar. I've been doing that for years. He, too, will try to establish the ground game tonight with Tyler Beatty in the backfield.
When you look at last year's win by Missouri, what they do to Kentucky, they Kentucky. They bullied them up front. They ran the football. They played keep away. Tyler Beatty has really established himself early this season as the heir apparent to Larry Roundtree. Last year, Missouri ran the football 62 times on this Kentucky defense. They're seeking to be physical again here tonight.
They certainly are, and Kentucky took that loss personally last year. For more on that, we go to the field and Alyssa Lang.
Guys, there is no shortage of motivation on Kentucky's side of the field, specifically for new quarterback Will Levis. He wasn't on the field last year, nor was he even on the roster, but 2020's game is not lost on him. He knows the moment we all remember. Larry Roundtree versus Kelvin Joseph going out of bounds on the Missouri sideline. Kelvin Joseph reaching his hand up, thinking someone's going to help him up. No, sir. Those Missouri Tigers standing over them, and this Kentucky team has hasn't forgotten that. Levis has that screen grab as the background of his cell phone, and he's had it all week. He showed it to us yesterday. There's no shortage of juice for this Kentucky offense, certainly for the guy leading them in Will Levis.
Alyssa, Missouri won the toss. They deferred, so Kentucky will receive. It is just spectacular. 77 degrees, a little bit of wind, and a packed house in Lexington tonight. And conference play in the SEC is underway. Wildcats will start at the 25-yard line and bring out the transfer from Penn State, junior from Madison, Connecticut, Will Levis. Terry Wilson left to go to New Mexico, and Mark Stoops brings in a guy that is a classic dual threat.
Big, physically imposing quarterback in Will Levis. You see the dimensions and you see the statistics put up last week. A guy that was largely utilized as a runner when he spent his time at Penn State. He's already acquitted himself well in the passing game.
Under center, haven't seen that much in Lexington in recent years. Chris Rodriguez, who went over 100 last week, gets a few. Blaze Aldridge, who had a amazing debut from Missouri, on the tackle. There's those flowing blonde locks. 3.5 sacks for him. His debut game last week. Up to the 28-yard line, and Levis under center again with Wandale Robinson going in motion. And they hand it to Robinson around the edge, and he's got daylight. Watch out! What a debut last week! How about the second game for Robinson? Tackled inside the 10.
You think they're excited to have this kid back home in his home state of Kentucky? Not just a playmaker as a receiver. He played running back some at Nebraska, and you can see why. This guy is electric. You cannot get him enough touches in your offense. High percentage. Hand it off to him. Let him get out on the perimeter and power your offense into the red zone. Already Kentucky with an explosive play on offense.
64 yards for Robinson. First and goal, Cats at the Mizzou 8. Back to the ground. Rodriguez goes straight ahead for 2. Around Levis, Robinson, and Rodriguez. This is what the Cats' offensive lineup looks like tonight. Josh Ali, the leading receiver last year, had a great game last week. Isaiah Epps is the third target in this offense. And Justin Rigg is the super 6-year senior. Darian Kennard's on the right side tonight. Dare Rosenthal, the transfer from LSU, on the left.
You see Kennard not wearing his usual number 70, wearing 65 in honor of their former offensive line coach, John Schlarman.
Levis, some confusion there with Rodriguez. That is one of the reasons why this guy is an NFL prospect. He leaps ahead to the 5-yard line, a dive for 1.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting. We asked him about it. He was such a runner while at Penn State. No call runs last week. He said, look, it just didn't have any pull reads. But right there, it looked as if Levis intended to pitch it to Rodriguez, and they were out of phase, kept it himself, and was able to at least pick up positive yardage.
Missouri could not get off the field in the red zone last week against Central Michigan. Levis on 3rd and 5, finds Rodriguez, touchdown Kentucky.
We know Chris Rodriguez, one of the more talented backs in the conference, even the country. Had a couple of catches last week. First career receiving touchdown to put the Cats ahead.
Matt Ruffalo's extra point is good. And just a couple minutes into the game, Kentucky's up 7-0. 5 plays, 75 yards. Wandale Robinson, a 64-yard end around. And then Rodriguez makes the catch. Mizzou, it's your turn. The SEC opener in prime time in Lexington. Already some push-ups to do. Just a couple minutes into the game as Kentucky strikes first. Chris Rodriguez with his first receiving touchdown, set up by the brand new Kentucky transfer, Wandale Robinson's 64-yard end around, and Will Levis at quarterback. What a debut. Kicking it deep to Chris Abrams' drain over his head. And Connor Bazelak and the Missouri Tigers come out onto the field. Redshirt sophomore from Dayton, Ohio. Looked pretty good last week in the win against Central Michigan, finding 9 different receivers in that game.
And they struck really early in that game last week versus Central Michigan. First rattle out of the trap, first play. They had a post for 63 yards to Boo Smith to set up a 2-play scoring drive. They have to answer and want to answer in a hostile environment tonight.
Into traffic, nice ball over the 30-yard line. It is Toski Dove, the junior from Denton, Texas, for 7. Bazelak and Beatty in the backfield. You see a lot of pitching and catching between those two. Kiki Chisholm coming off a nice game. Up front, Javon Foster, the left tackle. Watch in the middle tonight. Michael Maietti could have his hands full with Marquand McCall. Nice catch by Dominic Lovett, the first of his career, and it's a first down. The true freshman dropped a few last week, Stinch. Good job there.
Definitely got the attention of the Kentucky defensive staff and players, though. They all cited that number 7 can absolutely roll on the perimeter. Missouri will challenge Kentucky to make open field tackles.
1st and 10, Mizzou at the 31-yard line. Lot of movement in the backfield. Beatty makes a man miss and gets up past the 35, up near the 37-yard line. Cedric Dort had a shot at him and pushed him out. Wildcat defense has been sensational with Brad White calling the plays on defense. Josh Paschal, a prospect up front. Jacquez Jones, the transfer from Ole Miss, in the middle. And the secondary is led by Yusuf Corker, one of the best safeties in the Southeastern Conference. Bazelak rolls out, dumps it off, and it's caught by Nico Hay, but a nice open field tackle is made there by Tyrell Agin. 3rd down.
Well, Brad White dialed up the pressure that time on 2nd down. 2nd down was a problematic down last week for Missouri. And let's keep in mind, Connor Bazelak has not played in front of a hostile crowd environment.
Listen to Lexington. Bazelak across the middle, it's dropped. He was looking for Kiki Chisholm. 4th down.
In talking with Elia Drinkwitz, head coach and play caller, he talked about how they were going to have to find a way to win that line of scrimmage, not only in the ground game, but in protection as well. That pocket collapsed around Bazelak. Well defended as well. A bang-bang play to deny the conversion over the middle.
Grant McInnes, who was the punter for Kentucky 5 years ago, is now the punter for Missouri. Fair catch made at the 20 by Robinson. It is a 42-yard punt. McInnes, the 6th-year senior graduate from Kentucky, now playing for the other team.
SEC Saturday Night is presented by T-Mobile, the leader in 5G, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G network. And in part by Farm Ridge. Grab a snack.
They are flying the T-6 Texan II. Lieutenant Colonel Shue and Major Piker. Captain Solo, Major Raisin. Captain Mr. Kentucky, Major Breezy. Lieutenant Colonel Hammer, and Major Storm. Thank you for your service, my friends. Wildcats up 7-0 with the football. Liam Cohen, the new offensive coordinator, likes what he sees, designing the longest run of Wan'Dale Robinson's career, a 64-yarder on the first drive. Cavassier Smoke in the game now, and Smoke moves the pile up to the 25. Let's go down to Alyssa.
Guys, a much faster start for Kentucky's offense compared to last week. Liam Cohen said he was almost thankful that the offense turned it over early, giving Levis a chance to respond. They also talk about how he's always walking around with this intense glare on his face. Well, he was smiling coming off the field after that last touchdown.
Well, you know what? He kind of salvaged that one play right before the touchdown throw.
Fake to Smoke. Levis steps away and into traffic. He's lucky to get that one back. Robinson was the intended receiver, but Ennis Rakestraw was the closest man to it.
But one of the things the new defensive coordinator, Steve Wilkes from Missouri, wanted to do, he wants to try to affect Will Levis with his feet. Wants to make him move off his spot as a passer. He wants to try to affect his accuracy that way. Can his guys get home? That time Levis had to adjust in the pocket.
3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. No one in the backfield with Levis. Will in trouble, rolls out. He can run. Did that a lot at Penn State and dives ahead. First down, Kentucky.
Hey, well, that's a big dude coming at you, by the way. And we showed him earlier, 6'3", 230. He's every bit of it. Walked into our meeting yesterday. I was like, this guy looks like an action figure. And if he wants to run it, he absolutely can. Didn't do it last week. Couldn't find a seam. That time had to leave the pocket. Look at him with the pose at the end. He knew he picked up a first down. Didn't like the look, though, this time. Wants to capitalize on it. They were out of the huddle quickly.
First time out of the half.
And it looked like they were going to try to maybe get a little tempo. Instead, Levis looks to the sideline, calls time.
Clearly, you're going to see more runs for Levis as the season winds along. Over 400 yards rushing, as you said, and 6 touchdowns for Penn State. Levis and Kentucky off to a good start here in week number 2.
And look at the explosive plays. The points alone, right? So 45 last week, the most since 2 years ago. But the passing yards, and that was the element that's been missing. 419, they haven't done that since 2014. 50-yard receptions, 3 of them last week. They've already added yet another 50-yard play with the run by Wan'Dale Robinson. 4 now this season alone for Kentucky.
Mike Drennan, one of the receivers at the top of your screen, also can play some running back. He comes in motion. Smoke gets the carry again, and nothing doing there. Isaiah McGuire, the big junior from Tulsa, on the tackle.
Great job by Akil Byers right in the middle of that offensive front. He won right now. Didn't make the tackle, but he made the play with penetration. Made Cavassier Smoke stop his feet in the backfield.
He's a great defensive tackle. He has no stats. He just takes up 2 people.
That's exactly right. That's right. He's blocking well.
2nd and 11 after the loss of 1, and Rodriguez is back in. Chris goes right at that Missouri defense. A flag comes in up near the 38.
On that snap, Missouri had 2 really wide techniques for their defensive tackles. Both A-gaps completely unoccupied.
Personal foul, face mask, defense in 0. 15-yard penalties, men to run, automatic first down.
So look how wide these 2 defensive tackles are. There's Byers and McGuire, and they end up stunning back into that A-gap. Great job at left guard. You can see the face mask at the end. Byers reaching out. And he gets a handful of face. Chris Rodriguez kept those legs churning. With some free yardage for the Kentucky offense. An easy entry, really, into the interior portion of that defensive front with those splits.
Because of it, Kentucky's back in Mizzou territory. Levis stands tall. Nice ball to Ali. Inside the 30. And Josh has a first down near the 28 where his helmet comes off after a 20-yard completion.
Ollie last week proved something to offensive coordinator Liam Cohen. They track these guys now. They can tell them how fast they're running in practices and scrimmages. He broke 20 miles an hour last week in the game. Liam Cohen was like, we haven't seen numbers like that from him in practice. But I love the game speed. That's when it counts the most. Ollie turned it on. You could see that run after the catch. He's got some burst.
Gives the football to the Cats inside the Mizzou 30. Levis in trouble, and down he goes, pressured by McGuire. His second sack of the season, had one last week too.
It's an active defensive front, but right here, the LSU transfer, Dare Rosenthal, and McGuire does a great job of just lifting his outside arm. He did a great job of shortening that edge by getting the outside hand of Dare Rosenthal off of him. Levis had an opportunity. He had Justin Rigg, his tight end, open, but he just didn't get a chance to get his eyes downfield.
Rodriguez has daylight inside the 30, and he's up near the 25-yard line where Devin Nicholson pushes him out. It'll be third down.
We talk about some of these new offensive concepts. It's just one back power for Kentucky. How many times have you seen that play run in this offense just to try to get it third and manageable?
Wildcats need to get to the Mizzou 19.
Wan'Dale Robinson's at the bottom of your screen, almost just inside the right hash.
Levis looking that way. First down, Kentucky.
Look back to last year, Kentucky just couldn't sustain drives. On this one, it's obviously far more methodical than their opening possession. But you give Wan'Dale Robinson, he got a free release off the line, was able to make the reception in front of Rakestraw, and just enough to convert that first down.
Missouri's given up 4 touchdowns against the opposition in 4 red zone trips. This is the 5th. Cavassier Smoke is in the backfield. Hits the hole hard and gets up near the 15-yard line.
You know, Smoke was a guy that the coaches mentioned. We've got to be more intentional with him. Now, this has been largely his series. But they're saying instead of it being like an interchange where Rodriguez gets a series, then Smoke gets a series. If a guy gets tired, banged up, we'll rotate in. They said, no, in this game, we need to be intentional to get number 0 into this ballgame, not only as a runner, but he's also very dangerous in space as a pass catcher out of the backfield.
Cohen already got this screen game going with Rodriguez for a touchdown. Trying for the screen with Robinson, a nice open field tackle made by Stacy Brown coming up from the free safety spot, the junior from Dallas.
Nice
correction, make that Jalen Carlies.
Yeah, Carlies, who had an interception last week. Great job closing. He ate up a lot of grass to get to Robinson in the open field. Now let's see if Missouri can disrupt Levis again and move him off of his spot. If Rodriguez stays in to protect, see if they add a blitzer, number 25, who's lined up in the line of scrimmage.
Levis to the end zone. Incomplete, but a flag comes in. Chris Abrams-Drain didn't play the football.
So you throw it up.
Pass interference, defense number 14. Foul occurred in the end zone. Therefore, by rule, the penalty will place the ball at the 2-yard line and includes an automatic first down.
So you think Abrams-Drain, he played receiver last year. This is a guy they put a lot of pressure on to step up big in the secondary. You can see Will Levis, he said, look, I'm going to throw it to my playmaker. I'm going to give him a chance. A lot of times they're just looking to see if they can get that defensive back to panic That time, Abrams Drain accommodated.
Ali and Epps to the top of your screen. Rodriguez in the backfield. Chris straight ahead. Touchdown. One receiving, one rushing for Chris Rodriguez. And Coach Drinkwitz's team is down 2 touchdowns.
You know, coming into the season, we talk about some of the new toys that Kentucky has offensively. What about the mainstay, the drumbeat, Chris Rodriguez? He's been a great ball carrier, but now, as you mentioned, touchdown on the ground and in the air.
And Ruffalo's extra point is good. Last year, Kentucky averaged 121 yards passing per game. They have 145 total yards in 2 drives of 14-0. SEC East in the Johnny Majors Bowl. The Pitt Panthers beat the Volunteers. Florida, no problem with South Florida and Tampa. And the Dogs with Stetson Bennett pound UAB 56-7. These two teams feel they belong in the conversation at the top of the conference. Fielding it at the goal line is Abrams Drain, deciding to come out. And he gets right about where he would have kneeled on it. Here is our road to the championship, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Look at the chances to get to the championship game, Stinch. There's not a lot of hope for Kentucky and Missouri coming into the season, but the winner of this game tonight starts to change that conversation.
Well, as we've seen already early on in this season, and we're only 5 quarters into it, Kentucky very different offensively than they were a season ago.
Option toss to the sideline to Mookie Cooper, and Cooper gets nothing. Yusuf Corker, wearing Chris Oates number 22, forces him out.
And you can see Missouri now early. They recognize probably a mismatch tackle to tackle. Some physical defensive front starts with Marquand McCall for Kentucky, who has range, so they're trying to get the ball onto the perimeter. Yusuf Corker at safety has to make that front 7 right.
On 2nd and 10, Bazelak dumps it off to Beatty. Nice job changing course. First down near midfield for the man out of the backfield that can change the game. 24 yards for the senior from New Orleans.
He had 3 catches for 40 yards. Look at the patience that he has tonight. Great job setting up the block. He didn't take off right away. Wait till your lineman gets out there to clean up that first defender. Nice cut by Beatty. He just turned it into an extended handoff.
Mizzou's at midfield. Bazelak pumps. One-on-one ball to the sideline, and it's over the head. A flag comes in. Kiki Chisholm was battling over there with Tyrell Agin.
Pass interference, defense number 3. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Agin was there, and so was Cedric Dort. Dort is called for the penalty.
I don't know. He got his head around. He's playing the ball. They're calling it on that right arm that was extended by Dort. That's exactly what Eli Drinkwitz wanted to do, though. So we got to find a way to protect long enough to get to the corners. They wanted to attack Cedric Dort and Carrington Valentine coming in at those corner spots. That time, able to draw a flag and get a first.
Down to the 35-yard line. Beatty between the tackles. Stays on his feet. Look at this hard running. He gets 8 yards. Larry Roundtree was the ultimate between the tacklers runner for Missouri the last few years. Beatty's a guy that goes around the edge quite a bit and catches a lot of passes, but make it clear, he likes to run between his shoulder pads as well.
No doubt. You know, they got him listed at 195 pounds. But he's running bigger than that this year. He looks bigger than that on the hooks. We were down there in pregame, a physical run and a physical finish on that first down carry.
Saw it quite a bit against Central Michigan last week. We see it again here. It's a first down inside the 15, and he's out of bounds inside the 12.
Another nice hole behind the right side of the Missouri offensive front. Look at that, that's clean. Great job coming in to block as well by Kiki Chisholm to seal off the second level. And watch Beatty, that's decisive. Get up to the second level, throw a move on a corner that's trying to maybe come up in run support. You see him now. We'll keep him fresh in the red zone.
Elijah Young is back there now, and Young with the fresh legs is inside the 10, stays on his feet as Valentine gives him a few love taps. It's second down.
You see Young subs right back out. But that time they run a counter. They pull the backside guard and tackle. Great job by Young of bouncing it outside as you see a late sub coming in for Kentucky.
It's Trevin Wallace, the true freshman, coming in, and Beatty runs right at him, right near a first down, maybe half a yard shy. Agent tripped him up.
Right now, Missouri liking what they have running off the right side. That time just a zone look. Previous play was a counter. You get some pulling linemen out in front, but they feel like they're getting some nice movement versus the left side of that Kentucky defensive line in a third and short. And see if they test the right side again. The formation strength is to the left side of the Missouri front.
Bazelak keeps it himself on the option. First and goal.
So they go heavy formation to the left. You've seen several runs to the right. Instead, they go right back to the open side, the weak side of that front. Bazelak with just enough of that option fake to have the defender stop their feet, able to get the first.
Pistol set for Bazelak with Beatty behind him. Tyler straight ahead, hesitates but gets a yard. Yusuf Corker met him in the backfield. Second and goal.
That time, good job by Yusuf Corker. Sometimes you just got to shoot a gap. See if you can make a play. He was able to get behind the line of scrimmage, make Beatty deviate his course. Does Missouri like it enough? They stay in the pistol set where you get another downhill run.
To Beatty, but Beatty wasn't ready for it. As Kentucky brought pressure, DeAndre Square leveled Bazelak.
He overloaded that A-gap that time. Wide square. He's going to run right through the middle. There's nobody there to pick him up. Beatty is hot. He's got to get his head around quicker. Bazelak had to unload it. Beatty's releasing out in the flats. He walks in if he makes that catch.
This is the 10th play of the drive. And Kentucky will call timeout.
Timeout. Kentucky, second timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Coming up later, it's SEC football final. Dari, Benjamin, Chris, and Gene will take you through all the stories for week 2 in the SEC and break down every game right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. One tap. Even on Stinch's 1997 phone, you can do it.
This is not 1997. This is the iPhone 3 and it functions just fine.
What does Eli Drinkwitz call on third and goal at the 1 with a packed house screaming at his offense?
Well, what's interesting is that earlier on it seemed as if they were recognizing, look, we're going to get the ball out on the edges. You get down in the red zone, there's less space to run to. And what got him there were 7 runs, and a number of them were between the tackles. Inside runs behind the right side. And Bazelak's going to be under center.
Movement on the right side. Nico Hay, the tight end, got out of his crouch.
False start. Offense number 48. 5-yard penalty. It remains fullback.
Yeah, this is the crowd. This is something we talked about coming into this, something that they're not used to. All last year, crowd noise, not an issue. You know, we're piping it in for the folks at home. They can't hear it here in the stadiums in 2020. This crowd is up, they are in it. And when you're that tight end, you're really removed from the ball. You're just trying to see it in your periphery.
Mizzou can't hear in this raucous environment in Lexington. Bazelak stands tall, end zone, touchdown! Taken away at the last moment, but Daniel Parker had it long enough. Mizzou's on the board.
What an answer. That's an impressive drive and some adversity overcome. Get the false start, you're knocking on the goal line. You see another run, instead you back yourself up. Doesn't matter, great patience. That time Kentucky only brought 4, tried to play coverage, and Daniel Parker uncovered in the back of the end zone, and Bazelak hit him with a strike.
The thicker kicker, Harrison Mevis, makes it 14-7. Daniel Parker scores his first touchdown in 3 years on an incredible answer by Missouri. How about Tyler Beatty on that drive? 24 receiving, 27 rushing, culminating with Bazelak throwing a strike.
So look at Daniel Parker. He's the tight end. He's the inside of the 2 receivers to the right side of the formation. You see the exchange in the back end. So Carrington Valentine trades off on him. Parker has already got him bodied. That's a big tight end versus a cornerback. He's already inside and underneath. Bazelak wants it all the way and finds it. What an answer. You think about that ground game. We talked about it in the open. What does Missouri want to do? They want to get things going on the ground, try to control things, and then open it up. If they can get to the play action pass, they had the pass interference. They throw the ball downfield. They pick up a free first down on that one, and they were able to capitalize. You mentioned with Tyler Beatty. Everybody was wondering, without Larry Roundtree, all those carries he got a season ago, who's next? Knowing that Missouri wants to run the football, ground and pound, so far in this season, Tyler Beatty looks like he's up to the challenge.
Kenny, it's a touchback at the 25. Extra Yard for Teachers is an annual effort led by the College Football Playoff Foundation that brings college sports together to support and honor great teachers across the country in games and on social media. To learn more about Extra Yard for Teachers, follow CFP Extra Yard. They make such a difference in this country, and we're so thankful for them. Any donation helps. Well, it helps Missouri to get a 10-play, 75-yard drive. What would help even more is if their defense can stop the Kentucky offense. Haven't done it yet. Flag comes down. Chris Rodriguez gets 4.
I wonder if they're going to get Missouri for being in the neutral zone.
Offside.
Yeah.
Defense. Number 6 lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
The defensive front have been watching them. They have been really crowding the football. It's almost like a batter standing over the plate. 4 penalties now already for Missouri for 39 yards. And that one enough. Free 5 yards. And that was a bruising run by Chris Rodriguez. You just can't afford to give up yards by alignment.
Could be the last play of the quarter. And it will, as Levis hands to Rodriguez straight ahead. First down, Wildcats up to the Mizzou 38. The fireworks in Lexington started with Wandale Robinson in the longest run of his career. Will Levis laying out. Mizzou is answered. It's 14-7. Yes, sir. As Sam Pittman would say, Dari, what a start.
He said if they started out hot that their fans would take over the game. See if that proves to be true.
Levis from a muddy pocket, and it's bounced bouncing off of a receiver, and it's picked off. That is Jalen Carlies.
He's trying to hit Isaiah Cummings over the middle. This happened last week. A deflected ball, a little bit behind him. Isaiah Cummings gets his hands on it, but it deflects up in the air. They had an interception last week on the opening possession. Trying to get it to Josh Ali. The ball was a little bit behind. That time on a crossing pattern. Cummings just trying to get his hands on it. The worst thing you can have is a deflected ball in the middle of the defense.
Carlies with picks in consecutive games. Chisholm running around on the screen there, and they throw underneath. Nice ball, and it's a completion to Toski Dove. First down inside the 40, down to Alyssa.
Yeah, guys, with Missouri capitalizing on some momentum here, talking to Coach Drink about the biggest improvement with Connor Bazelak comes to his maturation and his ability to be a leader. He's a little bit more confident coming into this season. He'll certainly need that with a very, very loud crowd here in Lexington, guys. It's only getting louder for Bazelak.
He is 8 of 10, though. A really nice start. And he hands to Beatty. Beatty with a burst of speed and runs right into DeAndre Square.
And DeAndre Square arrived, and it was got there ill-tempered. That was a shot. Watch the diagnosis, number 5. He sees it. They're trying to run that mid-zone. They're stretching you to the right side. He runs right underneath it. Gives Beatty an ear-hole shot. There's defensive coordinator Brad White. They see more of that in practice. They should defend it even better now.
2nd and 9. Bazelak flushed out by Pascal. A flag comes in as he was looking for Chisholm.
There'll be a holding penalty on Missouri.
Holding offense number 66. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat 2nd down.
Watch Pascal. He's at the top of your screen. He's just going to work all the way in cross face, all the way into the A gap. So he lines up over the offensive tackle, but he's going to stunt all the way to where his insertion point is right next to the center. And you see that? That's a quick substitution out. Just can't afford to have penalties like that.
That's a hard move to block right there for a man that is switched from outside linebacker to now on the line in number 4, Josh Pascal. 2nd and 19, Missouri at the 47. It's a quick little bubble thrown to Chance Looper, and he's down to the 43-yard line. It'll be 3rd and long.
Those are negative yardage plays that really plagued Missouri. When they've been able to stay on schedule like they were on the previous possession, they were able to move the football. Can they overcome a 3rd and extra long here to try to get a conversion, or even work to get it manageable to maybe go for it on 4th down?
Another bubble. That was a dangerous ball off of Beatty and almost picked off by Square.
They're trying to set up the middle screen to Beatty. And you can see that they get 3rd and extra long. They had a ton of practice of it last week. Missouri converted only 1 of 11 opportunities on 3rd down. And the difficulty they had was the negative yardage plays on 2nd down. And Coach Drinkwitz has to be frustrated. That holding call putting his offense in a big hole after the quick change on the interception.
Former Wildcat McInnes will try to pin his old team deep. Robinson, who had some trouble fielding those last week, fields it at the 8. Kentucky dodges a bullet after the turnover, gets it back, up a touchdown. What a day, Dari, in the SEC East survive in Denver with the comeback as Zach Calzada came off the bench for the injured Haynes King. Arkansas off to a good start against Texas. Chris Rodriguez breaks a couple of tackles and gets up near the 19-yard line. Another flag is down.
Offside. Defense number 39. Line up the neutral zone. That penalty will be declined. result of the play is a first down.
Yeah, they got to back up. I mean, it probably could have been called. I'm willing to bet they got a warning. Oftentimes, when you got a lineman along the line of scrimmage, especially in the box, tackle to tackle, the officials will come in there and they'll say, hey, man, you got to back up. Or if you're an offensive lineman, you got to move up. That's 2 calls now. That's really tight right here. As you get that down line look, that's really close to being in the neutral zone again.
Toss to Rodriguez. Look at that push in front of him. Past the 30-yard line, it's another first down. Liam Cohen has made it clear he's got to run the football to go with this new passing game. And Steve Wilks, the former head coach in Arizona, is now the defensive coordinator at Mizzou. These guys went up against each other a few years ago when Wilks was coaching the Browns defense and Cohen was on the Rams offensive staff.
You know, there's somewhat some familiarity, right? You know, different level of football, different personnel, but some very similarities, similar concepts for both of these coaches they're trying to apply to the college game.
Cavassier Smoke doesn't get the hole, and he's immediately greeted by Nicholson for a loss. Let's go down to Alyssa.
Yeah, guys, when we were talking to Steve Wilks in our meeting yesterday, one of the things that stood out to me was from last year to this year, he noticed last season they didn't get a lot of turnovers. A lot of times his guys played with their backs to the ball. So he said he may move to a little bit more zone scheme this year to use their eyes, which he says is the biggest weapon you have on the football field. Stinch, I'm curious to see what you've seen as far as that goes so far.
Well, they still spent a lot of time in man, although they've been able to find ways to hold up. They've mixed it up a little. Last week, they pretty much lived in man coverage with one single high safety. They've got a single high safety here.
Levis at the line. It's a dangerous ball, and Robinson can't catch it. Nice play by Rakestraw. It's interesting, Wilks thought he was going to go back to the NFL again. Took a year off in his hometown of Charlotte. Looked at his playbook, made some changes, and then Eli Drinkwitz shocked him by offering him the job at Mizzou, and he's been pleasantly surprised at how much his playbook applies to the collegiate game now.
And some of the adjustments that he said that he's made here in college that could apply in the NFL. Now 3rd and extra long. In Kentucky, you see, they started out in an empty set. That's Cavassier Smoke that was lined up wide. Now motions into the backfield. If he stays in to protect, see if Missouri blitzes.
Levis, a perfect ball to Isaiah Cummings. First down past the 40, up near the 44.
And it was Cummings who was targeted on the crossing pattern that was late from Levis. That time, he just hitches up right over the football. Levis is able to hit his target. Cummings is a guy that they're wanting to really emerge in this offense. A big guy is 6'3" or 4. That time a sure-handed catch, only his 2nd catch of his career.
Gives him a first down out near midfield. Levis, play action, wants to throw the deep ball. Wandale Robinson got it!
If he doesn't stumble, you add another 50-yard play. Just shy of it. They changed up coverage, went to zone late. Uchakian safeties in the back end, and Wandale Robinson got behind the coverage again. Now can Kentucky capitalize in the red zone?
Rodriguez straight ahead is down to the 3. All the talk of Levis and Cohen coming to Kentucky is justified, Stench. But that man right there is a game changer.
There's no doubt. The Missouri coaches talked about it. Eli Drinkwitz, he saw this team last year. Different quarterback, sure, but he said, look, we've got 2 weapons out wide that we now have to defend. And number 6 and number 1 for Kentucky. Both of them lined up to the right side of the formation at the top of your screen.
Instead, a muddy pocket. Levis keeps it himself. Touchdown. Ruffalo to make it a 2-touchdown game again. 21-7.
How's that for an answer? You throw a pick, you come right back and you throw a haymaker. Wan'Dale Robinson with a bomb, almost another 50-yarder, and then you keep it yourself. Nice read. You can throw it, you can run it. Kentucky's in the end zone again.
SEC Saturday Night, presented by T-Mobile, is brought to you by Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
Mark Stoops passed Fran Kersey for the most games coached at Kentucky with 101, and if Stoops wins tonight, he matches Kersey for the most conference victories as a Wildcats head coach with 25. It's Stoops' 9th season as a head man in Lexington, matched by, you guessed it, Kersey for the most by anyone in school history. Kersey in 1976 guided the Cats to a Peach Bowl win over North Carolina. The following year, they were ranked 6th in the country. 9 years as the head coach of the Wildcats. He went on to be the parks commissioner of this great state. And our hope is that he's watching tonight, proud of what he did here with those teams led by great Wildcats like Derek Ramsey and Art Still. So as you think of Mark Stoops and all he's achieving, Stitch, think of Fran Kersey too.
There's no doubt. You look at what he was able to do. That includes that historic 1977 season. It kind of mirrored what Mark Stoops was able to do in 2018. 77 was the last time Kentucky had a winning record in conference. That was under Fran Kersey.
Elijah Young in the backfield, so is Beatty, and Beatty makes the catch, and he's up at the 29-yard line. What does it say about Mark Stoops that he's coached more games at Kentucky than anybody ever?
Well, I think it's not just the duration, but it's how he's built it year over year. They didn't come out of the gate smoking. It's the development of this program. That's something that Coach Drinkwitz pointed out at Missouri. He's like, look, this guy has developed this program. He's got his guys in there. He's got them in an excellent position. It's a double pass.
It sure is, and it's incomplete. Looking for Chisholm. Chance Looper threw it, but he was completely covered up by Corker.
That's what happens when you've got a veteran safety. This is a first pass, it's a backwards pass. Look at Corker. He bit. Corker bit up at first, and then he realized, wait a minute, I just saw a receiver cross my vision. He rallies to the football to get the pass broken up. Here comes the crowd noise as you see Missouri, Bazelak trying to make a change at the line of scrimmage.
Bazelak, nice ball, first down up to the 45-yard line to Mookie Cooper.
Nice patience. Stand in the pocket. Kentucky brought pressure. It was not a great blitz look by the linebackers. They kind of oozed into the line of scrimmage, and Bazelak threw a strike for that conversion.
Transfer from Ohio State for 16 yards. That's a 7th different receiver Bazelak has found here in the first half. That ball bounces off the one receiver, and it's caught by another, Mookie Cooper again.
The ball's deflected at the line of scrimmage. We talk about deflections over the middle, but this time Cooper rallies to it really nicely. So watch Kentucky. As Bazelak was working right, he comes back around, and Jordan Wright gets that right hand up late.
And they're calling it complete. Yep. It bounces on the turf before it gets to Cooper. And so it's 2nd and 10 back at the 45. Bazelak by himself back there. This is dropped. Chisholm had to reach for it, but should have caught it 3rd down.
And Bazelak had to let go of that football a little bit early. That time, defensive coordinator Brad White brought pressure from the boundary. Bazelak had to unload it, and that fires up the crowd again.
You remember the crowd sound they had to pump in last year? This is better. Underneath has come in at the end of the play.
Holding, offense number 76. That penalty will be declined. It's 4th down.
That time it was J.J. Weaver. That's twice now with the Missouri offensive lineman. They're just not redirecting on the inside move. You see these edge rushers, they're coming across the offensive lineman's face, and they're panicking a little bit, grabbing jerseys and getting penalties.
Timeout, Kentucky. 3rd and final timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Even the Wildcats aren't used to all this noise, but boy, is it great to have a full SEC stadium in a conference game once again.
You can tell the fans were eager to get here. Tons of crowd. Probably, what, 3.5 hours, 4 hours pregame, building up to this kickoff. And we talked about it at the top. This rivalry, this matchup, it's got more teeth in it because of what happened last year. That 20-10 victory, the way Missouri roughed up Kentucky, they remembered that. It's an upstart program in only year 2 under Elia Drinkwitz. And you can tell all week long there's some comments going back and forth amongst the players. Fan base is jacked to be here in a night game in the conference opener with 2 East Division contenders.
Grant McInnes has a lot of protection in front of him to get off this punt at midfield. And Robinson comes up to the 13-yard line. He's still getting used to making those catches on punts, but he's been sensational as the new receiver for the Wildcats. This is SEC Network Football presented by T-Mobile. SEC Saturday night. Kentucky up 2 touchdowns with Matt Stinchcomb and Alyssa Lang. I'm Taylor Zarzour and Stench. We are seeing a brand new Kentucky offense.
Man, what a difference a year makes. What a difference a couple of position players, a Will Levis, a Wan'Dale Robinson, and Liam Cohen early on in this season, putting his stamp on this offense with explosive plays.
Rodriguez up to the 16-yard line. Already over 50 yards rushing for this man that made his first career start last week. Backing up A.J. Rose, splitting time with Cavassier Smoke last year. They called him Baby Benny Snell when he got to campus after the leading rusher in the history of the school. He's no baby no more.
No, he's full grown. He can just be C-Rod now.
It's Robinson in the slot, back to Rodriguez on the ground, and he's up to the 19, maybe close to the 20. It will be 3rd and short. He was 5th in the SEC last year in rushing, and the most impressive thing to me, aside from all these 100-plus rushing yards, he never loses yardage. Only 5 times last year was he tackled for a loss.
He did such an excellent job of always falling forward, average 6.5 yards a carry, and he's doing that again coming into this game tonight.
3 straight to him, falls forward again, 1st down Kentucky.
You know, they've always done a great job in Kentucky at running back being patient, but not hesitant. You don't want a back tippy-toeing around in the backfield, but you also want them to be patient enough to allow the blocks to be set up. And when you see the way Kentucky is running, that time just an inside zone concept. Did a great job waiting for the blocks to be established, see daylight, and then he hit that run straight downhill.
Rodriguez out, Smoke in. Look at this speed from Cavassier up to the 39-yard line. 14 more.
Great job by left guard Kenneth Lorsey and center Luke Fortner. Watch them walk. They really just get accommodated, really. I mean, Chad Bailey at linebacker, he just picks inside. You're just not gap sound as a defense. You have to play a B gap. You got to have somebody between the guard and the tackle. That time Smoke made him pay.
and Cavassier, and he gets a couple. Alyssa talked about it in the open, how personally Mark Stoops took this football game last year because they were out physicaled. There was more intensity from Mizzou last year. Flip the script so far tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. And he talked about it. He said, look, I'm a defensive coach. You got to play defense with an edge. We didn't have an edge last year, and they didn't. We were on that call. They were flat all game. He made sure throughout the week that this team came out with a purpose and with some intent. They've definitely done so far.
24 times already on the ground, and now to number 24 on another first down right at midfield.
Just pounding it. Just leaning. Getting that defense running. Defensive line's been out there now. Yet another rush. Kentucky already has run the football 11 times this quarter alone.
Levis back in shotgun. Smoke goes to the top of your screen. Plenty of time, and Levis says, hey man, I can take off. He does. First down run back into Mizzou territory. Our critically acclaimed series, True South, returns for its 4th season Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. The man to my right does the best imitation of the guy on your screen. Come on, you got to do it. Just read that next line.
Which one?
Host John T. Edge.
Host John T. Edge takes you through Scott, Louisiana to meet the locals and sample their food and culture on SEC Network and the ESPN app.
Located just 39 miles from the Gulf of Mexico. All runs on this play on this drive so far. That was Smoke. I'm thinking about John T. Edge and the new True South this year. Love that show and the culture it shows about this footprint.
What are they going to eat down there in Scott, Louisiana?
Oh, it's going to have spice on it. I can promise you that.
Tell you what, Kentucky's feeding this Missouri defense the ground game right now. 8 straight rushes.
I'm getting a little hungry. We eat like a champion in the 3rd quarter of our broadcast. Stay tuned for that tonight. Just over 3 minutes left. Levis dodges one bullet and another and dives ahead and makes something out of nothing. But tremendous pressure in the backfield by Mizzou that time.
Well, you can see Levis. He was fired up at the sideline. And you can see Cavassier Smoke was in that time. I don't know that he didn't bust. That time, Missouri brought both backers. Smoke ended up scanning all the way to the right side, and Levis, he had pressure right in his face. Smoke, I think, got rolled up on at the end of that play. And to see him walk off like that, I think more than anything, might have scared him. Watch this. Levis does a good job of avoiding it, but you see he gets rolled up on the back of his leg by Chad Bailey, who was blitzing. Levis did a good job of getting back to the line of scrimmage. I'd be surprised if Smoke isn't okay. Probably a little bit scary more than anything else when guys roll up on your legs from behind.
Junior from Wetumpka, Alabama, off the field. Rodriguez in. Number 1, Wandale Robinson, flashing in the backfield. And settles in at the bottom. Levis, look at that size, bulldozes his way inside the 30-yard line.
And look at him, he's fired up. But he likes it. When we talked about it, when this quarterback runs, he gets into the open field to the secondary, those defensive backs, they got a business decision to make. That time, it was Blaze Aldridge. Led the Missouri Tiger defense in tackles a week ago. Watch him lower the boom. Man, that's a physical finish to that run.
He came in here for his arm, but boy, is he physical. Rodriguez on the toss. Daylight, 1st and goal.
Man, they run toss, into the boundary to the short side of the field. And the left side of the Kentucky front does a great job. Look at him capture the edge right now. The forced defender is blocked by Dare Rosenthal. He gets out there, he blocks in space. And Chris Rodriguez with a big run to get Kentucky knocking on the door.
They take the air out of the football. They go old school Kentucky. They have over 200 yards rushing in the first half. And on the 13th play, Rodriguez loses the ball and fumbles, and it's recovered by Missouri's Chad Bailey.
And it was Jalen Carlisle again. Wow, what a huge turn of events here. This is a touchdown. And Carlisle, that's a power tackle versus a big back, gets the ball loose. What a huge play by Jalen Carlisle to get the ball back and prevent yet another score. So for that, dude.
What is up? Regions halftime report coming up shortly. How A&M came back and won. What Arkansas is doing to Texas. What do you think of what Kentucky's doing so far?
I think both of them have been extremely physical tonight. I love the run game. 200 yards in the first half.
Huge turnover there going in right before half here. Big deal.
How do we still have 3 seconds left with all of us talking?
You got it. Yeah. Efficiency.
It was a big turnover.
You almost lost.
Right before the break there, as Carlisle picks up or forces the fumble and Bailey recovers it. And now it gives Missouri the football after that incompletion. Now a 2nd and 10. Remember, Missouri gets the football first in the second half. Little pass underneath the Beatty, had trouble with it at first, and he's tackled short of the first down marker. Alyssa, can you hear us?
Oh my gosh, it's been off and on all night, guys. Sorry if I'm yelling into the microphone. You mentioned it earlier, Connor Bazelak's first experience playing in such a loud stadium. Thankfully, Drink ran him through noise sessions in fall camp, because yeah, it's freaking loud.
They quiet him down for a minute as Beatty gets the first down, running past the 35, and Mizzou will use a timeout.
And can Missouri capitalize on the turnover this time? The last time they had the interception over the middle, they had the ball in plus territory, and then you get that second down holding call.
First of the half. This is a 30-second timeout.
And you end up with no points if you're Missouri and end up going 7 points the other way for Kentucky. Can they capitalize here with a couple of timeouts to play with?
It's time to represent Missouri and Kentucky. Show us how big you're going tonight. Submit your best fan video this weekend to hashtag #ShowYourSaturday, and you just might get your 15 seconds of fan fame. Kentucky has dominated the total yards and just about all the stats, but one. They've turned it over twice, and Mark Stoops said it to us yesterday. Don't do anything stupid to cost yourself the football game.
Right, they can cost yourself. That was a authoritative drive. Just methodically going down the field, and instead it ends up coming away with no points, and your opponent now in Missouri with the opportunity to come back.
Bazelak against the body, nice grab by Parker, who got that touchdown earlier. And it looks like he's going to be just inches shy as Jones made the tackle. Clock running under 50 seconds. Mizzou does have 2 timeouts. Bazelak, first down throw inside the 40 as Looper makes the catch and takes the hit from Corker.
Nice rhythm throw that time from Bazelak. Finding a target, they want to get more touches. And you see now,
second timeout of the half.
Drake taking that timeout. They go into the plus side of the field. Well-placed ball by Bazelak and a fresh set of downs here. Kind of the same part of the field the last time they got a turnover when the drive stalled.
Coming up at halftime, you can watch the live performance of the Wildcat Marching Band on SEC Network Plus. Start streaming now on the ESPN app. There they are on the field. 80% of the band's members have majors outside of the music department. Band is led by Dr. Shayna Stahl, first female director in the band's over 118-year history. And how great is it to have them back in the stadiums in the Southeastern Conference this year. Our spotter in the booth, Russ Moore, he was in a band in the Southeastern Conference. There's our flyover guys from earlier today, getting a good look. Salute, my friends. Thank you for your service. 1st and 10 at the 38. Out of the backfield to Beatty. Beatty is down at the 33, but the clock will run unless Mizzou uses that last timeout.
You can see Kentucky playing off. They're giving up all the underneath routes. They don't want to get hurt deep. Make Missouri make the catch and then run after.
They're in Mevis territory. That was a floater out of bounds looking for Parker, who was covered up. 16 seconds left.
You can see that time, it looked like they were trying to get it, as you mentioned, to Parker on a slot fade. Instead, he gets jammed up. Timing of that one was completely off. A little bit of frustration, perhaps, on the sideline. Still a chance to convert. And a timeout to play with for Missouri.
And remember, Kentucky will have to kick it to Missouri to start the second half.
Kentucky showing pressure.
Clock down to 2. 1. Maybe got it off. Bazelak, nice ball inside the 20, perfectly thrown to Dove.
They motioned Beatty all the way out, then brought him back in. Kentucky in the zone. And Dove, who's had a big first half for him. Not a highly productive receiver now with another catch to get Missouri closer.
Great job straddling the sideline. Missouri does have a timeout left. Bazelak end zone, caught by Chisholm, and a flag comes in. Just 4 seconds left in the half.
Defense, number 3. That penalty will be declined. Result of the play is a touchdown.
That is the 18th career touchdown for Kiki Chisholm. And Missouri's within 1 score.
Well, watch them. They're kind of hand fighting there. Chisholm, that's a big receiver. Cedric Dort, he was on the inside. That was a well-placed ball by Connor Bazelak. Threw it on the outside and allowed his big-bodied receiver to make the catch.
Mevis makes it a 7-point game. And Stitch, I'm sure that each side of this rivalry is going to see that play differently. But trying to be objective about it, like you said, a lot of hand fighting, you can't throw the flag there.
No, let him play. I didn't see anything. Frankly, I didn't know that Dort. You know, they're both trying to position themselves for that ball. Chisholm did a great job of physically making the catch. A couple of times now where we've seen Dort flag for pass interference, and what an answer. A huge swing of events. Carlisle forces that fumble because you know that Chris Rodriguez is going in for the score. Instead, the ball comes out. Missouri does a great job of answering right back down the field. And Chisholm able to bring the Missouri Tigers into a one-possession football game. And as you mentioned, they get the ball first in the second half.
Only 4 seconds to go in the half. And Eli Drinkwitz knows his team is right back in the football game. A little taste of the Gatorade there, my friend. It's been a beautiful night to play some football tonight. You think about it, Stitch, it would have been 28-7 if Rodriguez holds on to that football. Instead, it's 21-14 with just 4 ticks to go until halftime.
We mentioned it. You know, Coach Stoops was saying we can't beat ourselves. Don't do something stupid.
Meanwhile, that guy behind the marker has saved the day for Missouri. An interception and a forced fumble.
Both those number ones for Missouri. Defensively and offensively. Tyler Beatty and Jalen Carlisle. They've been big. Carlisle, obviously, with the forced fumble and an interception in this game.
Levis will just kneel on it. And Kentucky's lead is only 7. Certainly feels like a different football game because of what happened in the last minute plus. And Alyssa's with Coach Stoops.
Coach, how would you evaluate the last few minutes of that half?
Well, obviously the turnover's major. Took a lot of the momentum away we had. The turnover is critical. And obviously the 2-minute defense was not very good there as well.
What will the message be to the team in the locker room?
Well, I mean, we were in complete control. I mean, we're hurting ourselves with the 2 turnovers. They've got a couple drives. They're a good football team, but we were in complete control there. We can't shoot ourselves in the foot. It's going to be a heck of a second half. They get the ball to start the second half. That'll be an important drive.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
It certainly will. Is here in Lexington, our score is Kentucky 21, Missouri 14. Now let's send you to our halftime report. Here's our friend Dari Noko. Football presented by T-Mobile at Kroger Field in Lexington. We get ready for the second half. Kentucky leads Missouri by a touchdown. Here's our first half stats brought to you by Zaxby's. And as you can see, Kentucky dominating almost all the categories in the stat sheet, but the 2 turnovers provided so costly in the first half, Stitch, and we had a wild turn of events. Mizzou's right back in it.
What a huge swing, right? Because you're talking about what could be a 28-7 game, and now you're talking about a 1-possession game, and you're kicking it to Missouri. Missouri with a chance to build on the momentum that they established right before half. When you look at the passing attack for the Tigers, 159 passing yards. About half of those were on that final drive. They did an excellent job of getting completions underneath and then finally stabbing that dagger to get the touchdown right at the end of half to climb right back into this ballgame.
Chris Abrams drained, and Elijah Young back deep to receive Chance Poor's kick. And Missouri gets it back on offense. Alyssa, Eli Drinkwitz wants to see that running game get going.
Yeah, I asked Coach Drink what he said to the guys at halftime, specifically Connor Bazelak and the offense. He said, hey, Connor's playing pretty well, but we got to help him out in the run game. Only 44 yards rushing for Missouri right now. He also said that he told the team, hey, we took one of their biggest punches early on and we haven't given in yet. We've got to get some defensive stops when Kentucky has the football.
There's no doubt that's a problem. They have gotten 2 turnovers from Kentucky, but haven't been able to stop that push. First, Missouri has the ball, and Beatty gets maybe a yard. Jaquez Jones, the Ole Miss transfer, in there to help out. Still getting used to seeing him in a blue and white uniform.
Yeah, he's kind of been a stalwart, been around the league for a long time. Part of the rushing, only 9 rush attempts in the first half. Beatty with just the 6 carries, but he's averaging 6 yards a touch.
Play action, Bazelak has time, and it's picked off by Jones.
You couldn't end the first half worse for Kentucky. You can't start the second half better for Kentucky. Great job by Jones. You're trying to get the ball to Chisholm over the middle, and it looked like Agent was going to be there to make the play on the ball, but maybe not Pickett. How about Jones climbing the ladder to elevate to get that ball?
And with a short field, it's Levis handing to Wan'Dale Robinson, who had the longest run of his career, a 64-yarder in the first half. He gets a few. By the way, Lynn Bowden, who used to wear number 1, now with the Miami Dolphins, is saying, can you imagine the 2 of us on the same team? It could have happened, Lynn Bowden said, as he tweeted that out just a little while ago. There it is. In shotgun, Levis hands to Rodriguez. Look at this hole. Puts his foot in the dirt and plows ahead. First and goal, Kentucky.
They pull around, and Eli Cox secures the edge again, running into the short side of the field. And a great job again by the Kentucky offensive front, securing that left edge and getting Chris Rodriguez clean with a full head of steam to the perimeter.
31 yards for Rodriguez. Now they're on the doorstep. Back to him. Touchdown. Payback.
And maybe more than a little redemption for Chris Rodriguez. He's built a good bit of goodwill, I think. But you better believe he was carrying that football high and tight.
It's 28-14. Rodriguez is the 10th Wildcat ever with 20 rushing touchdowns. This set it up. He has 2 more tonight, and Kentucky's up 14 again. The jukebox is going to explode tonight.
he might have to upgrade. Might have to start downloading some MP3s over there. I'll tell you what, the jukebox is working for Sam Pittman in Arkansas. Loaded with talent. Might be some Big 12 talent. You talk about a preview for what they might be getting. Arkansas dumping on the Longhorns.
Meanwhile, here in Lexington, Bazelak makes his first mistake. How does he brush it off and get the Tigers back in it?
Well, he's definitely veteran enough. He started those 8 games last year. Can't allow that one mistake to turn into 2.
Airing it out again, or at least wants to, and safety valve Beatty. Look at him make something out of nothing. This guy is tremendous out of the backfield. And a late flag comes in. Could be 15 more.
Well, you said it. He's done a great job. He was targeted several times on that end of half drive. They're making Kentucky try to tackle Tyler Beatty in open space in the passing game. That was just a check down. There was a 2-receiver route.
Face mask, defense number 10. 15-yard penalties and end of the run. Automatic first down.
That's Jones. So you see Beatty, they run play action. 2 receivers in the route, well covered, nowhere to go with the ball. They just check it. Beatty does a great job. There it is. Boy, that was a very quick face mask. Technically a face mask nonetheless, and a first down and a half tacked on.
Into Kentucky territory. Another quick throw. This going to Hay down near the 45-yard line. Beatty is under 100 yards away from doing something that no Missouri Tiger has ever done before. Over 1,000 yards rushing and over 900 yards receiving as you see him in the backfield here. Nobody's ever gotten 1,000 plus in both categories in the backfield before. Again, to the sideline, it keeps working, and Hay gets 9 more.
This is the patience that the Kentucky coaching staff was talking about that Eli Drinkwitz has as a play caller. He bides his time, and then he takes his shot. And right now, Kentucky's conceding a lot of these throws. They're rallying to the tackle. See if Missouri runs it here to get a conversion.
First down, inside the 35 to Lovett. True freshman from Belleville, Illinois. Coach Drinkwitz and staff think this guy could be an all-SEC performer in the next few years.
Well, he's a guy that definitely has some juice. We talked about it. No catches week 1. He's made it into the box score this week, but it's his speed that really will threaten a lot of defenses.
At the Kentucky 33. Fake to Beatty. Bazelak steps up. Incomplete down to the 10 to Hay. Covered up by Square.
was a little bit surprised that Bazelak didn't come. He had a crosser underneath as opposed to going down to Hay. You wonder if he was trying to draw another PI along the sideline. They were able to get one earlier in the first half. That time you see a tight end running with an inside linebacker.
Josh Paschal off of the field on this 2nd and 10. Quick throw to the sideline goes Dove, and he picks up 9. It'll be 3rd and 1. Alyssa, what's going on with Josh Paschal?
You know, I'm not entirely sure yet, Taylor. I just saw him come off the field and walk right into the injury tent. Didn't look like he was limping or anything, but I'm standing here waiting for any kind of update. I'll get it to you as soon as I have it.
I appreciate that. One of the best pass rushers in the SEC. Not having him out there on a 3rd and 1.
Beatty in the pistol. They turn and hand it. Last time on a 3rd and 2, they flipped it outside to the perimeter for a conversion.
He gets it again on the edge out near the 20. Pushed out by Agent.
DeAndre Square took his shot. Instead of running over the top and scraping, watch him shoot this gap. Man, he got just enough of Square to keep him from getting to Beatty in the backfield. A great job. Doesn't always have to be pretty when you're blocking. Just enough to knock Square off his track. Otherwise, he's got a free run to Beatty in the backfield.
Octavius Oxendine in for Paschal. 1st and 10 Missouri at the 20. Bazelak will run. 1st and goal as he gives himself up.
Well, Kentucky played coverage. They only rushed 4. Bazelak ends up sliding there at the end. Last year, he rushed 10 times for 40 yards. He is capable. We've seen Will Levis tuck and run. A lot of the folks responding, they're surprised they didn't get either a hold or an illegal hands to the face on Hiron White.
Straight ahead goes Beatty. I'm telling you, he can be physical. He gets down to the 6. 2nd and goal from there.
You see the answer by Missouri. Well, the second half could have started off worse. You give them a score, you bounce right back. The 11th play of this possession. And they have tic-tac their way down the field.
Shovel pass ahead. Touchdown, Mizzou. Daniel Parker again. He hadn't had a touchdown in 3 years. He's got 2 tonight.
This ends up being like a counter. You pull your backside guard, and he ends up leading Parker to the line of scrimmage. You motion Beatty out, you get those eyes out of the backfield. Parker ends up being a running back on that one.
What an answer by Mizzou after Jaquez Jones gets the interception and Kentucky is up 14. Mizzou goes on a 12-play drive, marching all the way down the field. They're back in it. Now let's take a look at Fansville, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. What a lively, passionate environment we've had here tonight. A full Kroger Field in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. So great to have all the fans back again.
They've gotten their eyes full. This has been a game. It's gotten more and more intense ever since that answer by Missouri, the forced fumble. They go in for the score. You give up that pick, an easy score to Kentucky, and then you come right back to climb back into this ball game. One possession game now.
Sean Ketting over the head of Zach Johnson. And Kentucky starts at the 25-yard line. Well, the Southeastern Conference litters the National Football League with players on an annual basis, and you see it there. 21% of the league comes from the SEC. 17 former Mizzou players, 15 former Kentucky players. And Show Me State, I've got something for you for the pro team tomorrow. Starting at linebacker, Nick Bolton, the rookie from Mizzou, the second-round pick who was an absolute star for the Tigers.
There's no doubt he is a stud. Just hoovered up tackles a year ago.
Back to the ground goes Kentucky. That is the 18th straight run for the Cats. Let's get back to those NFL storylines. Dak looked terrific the other night in the loss to Tom Brady and the Patriots. Urban Meyer makes his coaching debut in the NFL tomorrow, and it's Mac versus Tua at 4:25 tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, the Bama quarterback room. Well represented in that one. Unbelievable. Mac Jones winning that starting job for New England. Boy, that was a quick ascent for him.
Wondering what's going to happen with Urban Meyer in Jacksonville. Former Gators and Buckeyes coach, won national championships at both of those schools. Levis out of the backfield ends the streak of runs, trying to find smoke, incomplete.
Yeah, it really is. When you look at it, especially defensively, Kentucky sending guys to the league. This is a program that does a great job of developing talent. And now can some of the new faces in the program answer on a 3rd and 10.
Feels like a big play, too, for Missouri.
Yeah. Well, for both of them, Kentucky to get this conversion, given the momentum that Missouri has offensively when they reestablished it on that previous drive.
Wan'Dale Robinson in the slot to the top of your screen among those other two Kentucky receivers. Levis looking that way, in trouble, has to throw it away as he faces the pressure by Akil Byers. And the super senior forces a 3-and-out.
Well, the Kentucky coaches talked about how active this defensive front can be. So they run an inside twist. See Byers, he just kind of waited just long enough so that they end up, what would have been his blocker gets picked. He almost gets blocked. So first 3-and-out for either one of these teams. The first time Kentucky has punted all night.
It's Wilson Bangers Berry, another Aussie punter for Kentucky. Good hang time. Fair catch made at the 37-yard line. More football action in 10 seconds. Great job by the Missouri defense of forcing a 3-and-out. Clearly Kentucky has been the more physical team when they've been on offense. The Tigers answered the bell there, and they have another chance to tie it up.
They start on that first down run, stuffed that downhill run by Kentucky and set up a series of downs to get their offense with great field position.
That was Chisholm flashing in the screen, pumping to him, throwing the deep ball into traffic and over the head of Yusuf Corker and Chance Looper, the receiver. Corker, one of those Kentucky Wildcats that's turned into a team leader. We've seen Mike Edwards and Jamin Davis blossom in the NFL. This might be the next guy.
Well, you know what? Talking with some of these guys, there's scouts here at this game today. Yusuf Corker was a name that came up. In fact, they were making sure they had the right jersey number on him for this contest.
Bazelak underneath, and it's open to Hay. And that little touch pass has been working quite frequently. It's a first down.
Just a late leak. You know, Nico Hay is in there. He looks like he's a part of the protection. He delay releases. And as the pressure comes upfield, Bazelak just dumps it right over the head. We've seen this the past couple of possessions from Missouri. Happy to take what's underneath. We saw him take those downfield shots. They hadn't been there. But they've been making Kentucky come up and try to tackle in space.
4 catches, ties a career high. This is Elijah Young spinning, and Josh Paschal wearing that big black arm brace helps make the tackle as he's back on the field. DeAndre Square in there too.
Pascal was out at the end of that last drive. You see a injured player. Is that Valentine? Starting corner for Kentucky.
The only non-senior starter on defense, Carrington Valentine, the sophomore from Cincinnati. We'll be right back.
17, guys.
Fighting Alyssa Langs are 2-0 with graduate assistant / starting quarterback Zeb Nolan winning it at the buzzer. First conference game of the season. It is loud on the field down there on a 2nd and 10 for Bazelak. It is incomplete, broken up by Square. How about those Gamecocks, Alyssa?
How about the Parker put the team on my back? White making that game-winning field goal. Yeah, that was a big game for Shane Beamer and the confidence of that South Carolina team. You expect them to do what they did last week in that opening matchup, but it was a tough ECU team on the road. I like what Shane and that program's doing. I know there's a lot of happy folks in Columbia right now as I'm losing my hearing here on the sidelines in Lexington.
3rd and 10, Bazelak rolls out, stopped short, Square again.
He ended up rolling to his right. It looked like he had Parker breaking open over the middle. They're going to go for it. Just past midfield in a one-possession game.
Maybe they're trying to draw him off. They were 4 of 5, Missouri was on 4th down last year against Kentucky.
The fact that he's under center was a little more than a little curious, and you can hear the crowd. If you're going to try to dummy cadence and then call play, that's going to be tough to pull off. That's a big stop. It's a big stop for the Kentucky defense.
5-yard penalty. 4th down.
All of our equipment is working properly, but I didn't hear a word you just said. It is loud in here.
It wasn't important.
I'll tell you one thing I heard you say at halftime is a guy that is one of the greatest offensive linemen in the history of the SEC, which is what you were. You said this is as loud as it gets in the SEC.
Well, they have definitely made it hard on the road team in Missouri tonight.
And the punt by McInnes. Fair catch by Robinson at the 9. It's time for picks. When you do the game in prime time, you don't have many choices left. Vandy plays Colorado State in a few minutes. Anchored down Clark Lee on the road as a 7-point underdog in Fort Collins tonight. Look at the voice of reason's picture from circa 1993.
Is that a face that you could trust for anything?
That is our producer, Tom Schofield.
Wow, is he misinformed? Some bad decisions went into that look.
Jonathan Fader, you're a beauty for putting that on the screen. Mitch Hummer, oh, he gets credit for it. Okay, Chris Rodriguez gets credit for all these extra yards all the way up to the 15.
How about that power? Chris Rodriguez, he just kind of cozied up behind the big blue wall there on the left side and rode the wave. Look at this play distribution, though. Last week, it ended up evening out. It was almost run pass, a 1-to-1 ratio. Here tonight, 3-to-1, run heavy. And you can't blame them. They've enjoyed a lot of success on the ground here versus Missouri.
Gashing them for 260 rushing yards so far. Levis, nice completion to Josh Ali. Remember him? First down.
It's a heavy box look. Run formation. Got 5 bigs along your offensive front, 2 tight ends and a tight formation, and then you just work that left side into the boundary. He had Ali and Rodriguez over there, an easy pitch and catch.
Smoke in for Rodriguez. And the toss to Cavassier. Foot in the pellets. Out past the 35-yard line. Near the 37.
Now, Kentucky's blocked well in the run game tonight. But that play was Cavassier smokes. Because you got Chad Bailey, number 33, untouched. He just sticks his foot in the dirt, breaks an ankle, and cuts back against the grain.
I get no credit for foot in the pellets.
No, I love the point of distinction there. Not a foot in the dirt, but you're right. The rubber silicate.
The green field turf instead of the bluegrass of Kentucky. Levis wants to throw and does. It's a strike to Robinson, but he dropped it. It's incomplete. Coming up later, it's SEC football final. Dari, Benjamin, Chris, and Gene will take you through all the stories for week 2 in the SEC and break down every game right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. One app, one tap. Kenneth Horsey is down for Kentucky, the junior from Sanford, Florida, the left guard. He's had a good game tonight, too.
Yes, he has. You know, we've pointed him out a time or two. Hadn't had an opportunity to point him out others. So watch McGuire. Yeah. It's a shot on the QB as Levis unloaded. And you get rolled up on the back of your leg. You see that big, heavy knee brace on Horsey. See him checking that knee. Now, Austin Dotson, who the coaches have said they're very high on him, a guy that has warranted playing time in the past. Likely substitute along the offensive front. The front that's done a good job by and large here tonight. Had a difficult time with the stunt exchange earlier. We've seen several players tonight get rolled up on. Coach Stoops out there checking on Horsey.
Good to see Horsey get up.
That left knee for sure. You see him all the weight on his right leg.
See Quentin Wilson, who is out there on the field. We'll see if he lines up at left guard or if they make a switch. Wilson, the junior from Cincinnati. Kentucky has run the football down Missouri's throat for 274 yards tonight. And that is a big loss with Horsey on the bench. Now 2nd and 10. Levis with the low snap. Hands it off to Smoke. And Rodriguez, excuse me, and he plows ahead past the 40-yard line to the 41.
You got Quentin Wilson in there. What do you do? First play. Let's run the football right behind the left side. Nice push. Rodriguez just trying to regain some ground. Taking that shot on 2nd down, and it puts you in a 3rd and long scenario. You see if Missouri brings pressure. See those two backers sugared up, both of them in the A gaps, either side of the center. They come.
Levis across the middle. What a batted ball by Chris Abrams-Drain, the sophomore from Mobile, Alabama. As you said, the converted wide receiver is showing his skill at defensive back.
A nice pickup by the offensive front and an even better breakup by Abrams-Drain. What a great play by number 14.
Just one punt tonight for Barry. This the 2nd. And a fair catch at the 20-yard line by Boo Smith. This is a day that we will never forget 20 years later, and it's on the mind of Missouri head coach Eli Drinkwitz.
I'm going to start out by saying we play on the 20th anniversary of 9/11 this Saturday, and as part of our uniform on our helmets, we're going to be wearing this Never Forget 343 decal. It's honoring the 343 first responders who gave their life on 9/11. An opportunity for us to say thank you to those brave souls and to their families for the sacrifices that they've made, and to represent truly some heroic individuals from that day.
Beatty gets up to the 28-yard line. So great touch by Coach Drinkwitz to pay respect to those that made the ultimate sacrifice for all of us. Second and 1. Keeping it himself is Bazelak, and it's a first down, tripped up by Square up near the 34-yard line. I keep thinking of Herm Edwards, our old colleague at ESPN, who's the head coach of the New York Jets, now with the Arizona State Sun Devils, who's consistently said all of those people want us to push forward and do all the things that they loved that we've always loved, like doing this, playing SEC football in a loud environment on a Saturday night between two great teams. Nice ball underneath from Bazelak to Dove. He only gets a couple, though. Quandre Mosley with the tackle.
Mosley, a guy that they're asking now to come in. He came in earlier when Carrington Valentine came out. You see Valentine flip it to the opposite side of the field now. Mosley will be to the open side there, number 21. As Kentucky continues to allow some of these underneath passes to be completed.
Bazelak, nice ball to Nico Hay to the sideline into Kentucky territory. That was not his first choice, but he did a good job of checking down and finding Hay for another first, 16 more.
A bust in coverage. Nico Hay, who was attached on the right side of the formation, was just unaccounted for. He was wide open. There wasn't anybody within 20 yards of Hay when he made that catch.
Career high 6 catches for Hay. Bazelak steps up, throws, back shoulder incomplete to Chisholm. Carrington Valentine was down there with him.
They've repeatedly tried it. They're running right down the rail of that sideline to the right side. Chisholm has been the target. They found ways to draw a defensive PI. That time Valentine was in phase. And that ball was thrown well upfield.
Empty backfield for Bazelak. And sitting down at the 36-yard line is Lovett.
Well, this has been the MO. You know, we've seen Missouri, they'll load up and try to take a shot on an early down off play action, but otherwise they've just returned to this. Happy to take some of these passes and credit the receivers and running backs of the Tigers. They have been largely sure-handed.
Bazelak, 27 of 40, 243 yards and 3 touchdowns. And we're not even done with 3 quarters as Beatty, on what could be the last play of the quarter, goes down inside the 33. Missouri took every punch from Kentucky for a quarter and a half, and we're almost down 3 touchdowns. As they get one more off on a reverse, this is Cooper. He gets a block and is out of bounds near the 25-yard line. And Missouri is on the march, trying to tie things up. Kentucky was gashing Missouri for a half. Missouri has fought its way back Now let's look at our 15 minutes or less, brought to you by Geico.
Will Levis cruised into the end zone. Rodriguez fumbles into the end zone, cost him going right back. Missouri was able to get that score, but to open the second half, Jones with the pick, Rodriguez with the exclamation point, and Missouri answered right back. Eli Drinkowitz talked about, we keep taking their best punches and we bounced right back. That has continued here in the second half.
And here they are trying to tie the game up. Beatty is tackled quickly by Jones. Set a good ball game. Interception in the third quarter. A couple of big tackles.
They're going to stop play, but Missouri was, looked like Missouri was lined up. They were ready to play. The defensive front was looking around, and we've got an equipment issue, it looks like. It wasn't necessarily a tempo scenario, 0 yards gained on first down, but something that has stood out tonight. Missouri in week 1 plagued by negative yardage plays, 25 offensive snaps that went for negative yards. Tonight, the Kentucky defense, 0 tackles for loss. And we've seen some penalties for Missouri, but the Kentucky defense has not been able to get to the Missouri ball carriers, quarterbacks, receivers behind the line of scrimmage here tonight to force that offense backwards and get them off schedule.
It's Devontae Robinson, fifth-year senior from Lexington. He is our hometown hero tonight. And it's brought to you by T-Mobile.
Well, you see it right here at home. Bleeds blue. The guy that they say he's starting to look more like he did before his injury. A guy that's been working to fight his way back to be the player he was. You see that second longest streak of tackles, 21 straight. Leaves the field. Didn't look like a serious injury, likely cramps again.
Marquez Bembry takes his spot on the field on a 2nd and 10 for Mizzou at the Kentucky 24. Bazelak in an empty backfield rolls, throws into coverage, and it's incomplete to Parker. Corker's been all over the field tonight.
Well, Wisely ended up just throwing that one away. Well covered. They motioned Beatty out again. Now, Beatty would have been covered by J.J. Weaver. A matchup they could potentially exploit later. Obviously wouldn't be comfortable in coverage. But now a 3rd and 10. You get that tackle at the line of scrimmage, first down, an incomplete pass on 2nd. Does Kentucky try to heat up this 3-down front?
They've been great on 3rd down all night. And Bazelak makes it continue, first down.
He's done it before, did it earlier. Able to scramble when he had an opportunity to tuck and run. Man, that's deflating if you're a defense. You cover well downfield. The quarterback's able to escape the pocket and get the conversion in your own red zone.
They're 7 of 12 on 3rd down tonight. A toss ahead to Looper, and he's inside the 10, down near the 7. Stinch, Mizzou's offense has been on the field virtually the entire second half. This is their 28th offensive play. Kentucky's only run 12.
It was kind of all of a sudden reminiscent of last year's game. Kentucky just couldn't possess the ball, couldn't get off the field. As you see defensive coordinator Brad White straining for his defense to get a stop here.
And this is the 13th play of this drive. Bazelak 2nd and 5, drifting back. End zone off the body of the intended target, Kiki Chisholm.
Holding offense number 1. 10-yard penalty, previous spot. Big 2nd down.
Chisholm was breaking open. They ran a little mesh concept, 2 crossing patterns right over the football. Chisholm was coming open. Watch Beatty in protection. He ends up getting called for the hold. See his right hand? He turns DeAndre Square completely on his rush. That's an easy call for the officials. You got a center judge and the head referee, the white cap. They got eyes right on that play. Backing up Missouri. There's that negative yardage play.
All the way back to the 17-yard line. Bazelak into pressure, and it's incomplete. It bounced off two Wildcats. Jalen Geiger could have picked it.
It was Josh Paschal who had dropped into coverage and was underneath that route. Tyler Beatty had it deflect off his hands, and Geiger had a shot at an over-the-shoulder interception. He makes that catch. It's an easy touchback, as it is. 3rd and 10 plus. Kentucky looks to play coverage again with the three-man rush.
Can Bazelak make them pay? Dumps it off to Beatty. Gets a block. Breaks a tackle. Goes to the goal line. Touchdown! Tyler Beatty has been brilliant tonight, running and catching.
Kentucky only rushed 2. They had the perfect defense called for that. K.D. McDaniel, he was just kind of spying. You had to anticipate there's a chance for a screen. He had it. Case Cook, he's fired up. Tyler Beatty, he has been huge as a receiver in this game. And Kentucky has failed repeatedly to make tackles on him as a receiver in space.
They make sure he got in. He did. 14 plays, 80 yards. Beatty over 50 yards rushing, over 70 yards receiving tonight. And now Mevis to tie it up. Brand new ball game with 13-11 to go.
Who needs a run game when you can just drop it off to your running back? Let it muscle his way into the end zone. A statement drive by the Missouri offense, and we're all tied up.
Tie game in the 4th quarter, and it is time to eat like a champion. Locally owned and operated Dad's Favorites Deli is providing the food for us tonight. As you see, since 2008, it has been one of the best places that Big Blue Nation goes to feed their hunger, as Kentucky will get it at the 25-yard line. I've got a Chipotle cheddar sandwich that I'm going to eat right here. You've got a pot roast sandwich, Stitch.
That's right, buddy.
And Alyssa, you have some beer, cheese, and what?
Yeah, I have the Rushmore, which is the ultimate sandwich, I was told, because you guys are cowards, clearly. Mine comes with beer cheese to dip it in, roast beef, some fried onions, some bacon, some cheese. I don't know why I keep getting caught eating here in Lexington, but here we go.
I love it. It's time for the second half snack.
It was good. It's real good.
This game has been tremendous. As Levis throws to the sideline, perfect ball over to the 35-yard line to Wandale Robinson to move the chains. I'd like to say this about Dad's Favorite Deli. They fed 180 National Guard members at the Armory for their 9/11 memorial gathering today. They are great members of this community.
Veteran-owned and operated. Not only members of this community, but contributors back to armed servicemen and women.
So Levis trying to get this offense going and give it to Chris Rodriguez. Wide open space in front of him. Into Mizzou territory, tripped up by Williams at the 36.
You said it. What a massive hole in the middle of the offensive front. Great job. Just escorting the defensive lineman aside. And Chris Rodriguez just hit it straight downhill. A touchdown saving tackle. but an explosive run on the ground for the Kentucky Wildcat offense.
28 yards for Rodriguez, a new career high, 176 tonight. Now play action, Levis off the back foot, and it's too far in front of Robinson, who gets smashed by Williams, and here comes the flag. Williams, a sophomore from St. Louis. Let's listen to the call here from Ken Williamson.
Personal foul, targeting, defense number 4. The previous play is under review.
They will review that, and we will take a look as we go to the break and tell you what they come up with. 12:06 remaining.
The call on the field was targeting, and this procedure couldn't have gone any better. So watch Williams. He's playing the ball. He has every right to try to make that play as Wan'Dale Robinson does. He can go try to make that pick, which is exactly what he was doing. The contact, while violent, it didn't have those other indications. I mean, both of them are trying to play that ball in the air. He didn't launch, he didn't lower, he didn't duck as the defender. And they did a great job. You throw the flag, let's take a look up into the booth. The booth took a look at it very quickly and said, there is no targeting on the play, let's play ball.
Couldn't have said it better. Very quickly made the right call. And meanwhile, Will Levis is only 8 of 16 tonight for 118 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Pedestrian numbers after the best start in school history, trying to get it going, and he finds his big tight end, Justin Rigg, in wide open space, 1st and goal. 28 for the super senior.
How about the escort from his big right tackle, Darian Kennard, in number 65. And look at Rigg, he just hides right behind him. Hey, let me wait for my blocker. I'll pick up another 7 yards. And did. Coaches were impressed with how Rigg played last week. A timely reception for the tight end.
Setting it up at the 8 for Rodriguez. Too easy, but he drops it at the end. It's called a touchdown on the field.
Called a touchdown on the field. Had he crossed the goal line,
If it was a touchdown.
before the ball comes out. That ball is out before he crosses the goal line.
Devin Nicholson helping force it. Now the question is who recovered it?
Sean Robinson's an injured Missouri Tiger defender on the field. But Devin Nicholson rakes this ball out. I still don't see how that ball came out, but it was out.
And Eli Cox jumped on it. The sophomore from Nicholasville, Kentucky should get credit for that touchdown.
Wow. What a hustle play by the right guard of Kentucky.
And now Matt Ruffalo to give the Cats a 7-point lead again. Chris Rodriguez has put the ball in the ground a couple of times tonight. His big right guard.
Running into the kicker, defense, penalty is declined, result of the play. Successful try for point.
His big right guard, Eli Cox, saved the day on that play.
SEC Saturday Night is presented by T-Mobile, the leader in 5G, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G network. And in part by Zaxby's, featuring fresh-made chicken tenders, wings, and salads.
There's Eli Cox. That's an offensive lineman's dream. We don't need much. The ball comes out in the end zone. Every once in a while, we jump on the ball. Give us a score, would you? Right guard, right here in Kentucky. Great hustle play to salvage that drive, because once again, Kentucky on a Chris Rodriguez carry was staring at a potential turnover and a touchback. We already saw how that ended in the first half. You see Eli Cox congratulated by everybody on that sideline. That's why you hustle downfield. That's an offensive line coach's dream come true, guys. Hey, you want to know why you follow? You know why you finish blocks and run out plays? Because who knows? You might end up scoring a touchdown for your team in a one-possession ball game.
That's Matt Stinchcomb. I'm Taylor Zarzour. Alyssa Lang on the field. It's the fourth quarter. Kentucky's up 7 on the road team, Missouri Tigers. Tyler Beatty's been terrific tonight. And Beatty gets up near the 35-yard line. They give him a first down.
Nice blocking on the perimeter tonight. It's been Beatty as a receiver. As he empties the backfield, he's at the top of the screen.
Bazelak rolls out to the sideline, throws it to Beatty again, and Beatty's up to the 40-yard line. On the game, Stinch, Beatty's got over 140 all-purpose yards, just about even, too, with rushing and receiving.
And that's more recent. You know, the fact that he has just emerged that way. They talked about, is he a workhorse like Larry Roundtree? Yeah, he is. He's just not getting the carries. He's getting the touches in the passing game. They like that matchup. When they empty the backfield, he's got an inside linebacker out there trying to cover him in space.
2nd and 5, another quick throw. And nothing doing for Lovett, who dropped the football. Missouri keeps it.
There's J.J. Weaver out there. It looked like he got his hand on the ball, and Lovett had that ball just hanging out. You talk about running backs coaches, receivers coaches, 3 points of contact. See Lovett, how loose with that football. That ball's out before his knee made contact. Great hustle play that time by Missouri to get possession back.
It's a loss of 8. Beatty makes a man miss again. He's been doing it all night. And he's up near the 44-yard line.
The first defender to Tyler Beatty, they're not going to tackle. It hasn't happened tonight. Hasn't happened yet. It's worked over and over again for the Missouri offense. We see Beatty again now. He's going to motion back into the backfield. See if they try to find him once again as Kentucky shows pressure.
And Cook comes out of his stance. He thinks he was baited by the Kentucky defense.
I don't know how you call the defense on that. It's a poorly timed blitz.
Offside, defense number 10. The movement by the defense caused the offense to react. The penalty is 5 yards. Remains 3rd down.
You see Jones. You know, you could call that a couple times a game. I'm surprised that it went that way. You call it, could have been owing to the crowd noise. Interesting that it went against the defense right there.
Looked like he came close to making contact with the center, Michael Maietti, but regardless, it's only 3rd and 1 now. Beatty, look at all the cat swarm.
Wow.
J.J. Weaver, among others, Marquand McCall, 4th down.
Well, penetration right now. Right now, upfield J.J. Weaver, he's getting held. Carrington Valentine shoots from his corner spot. Look at all the blue jerseys. There's that negative yardage play, a tackle for loss for the defense. It's evaded them almost all night long. Only their 2nd tackle for loss versus the Missouri offense.
Grant McInnes punting at his old school for the first time in 5 years, and Josh Ali is back instead of Wan'Dale Robinson. And that takes a friendly Missouri bounce, and it's down by a Tiger inside the 10 at the 9. This season, Allstate will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, Allstate.
Illegal touching, kicking team. The ball be awarded to the receivers at the spot of the touching. First down.
So instead of the 9, Kentucky gets it at the 16. Incredible how dramatic these games have been in the Stoops era. Levis hands to Rodriguez. As long as he can hold on to it, he plows forward every time. Devin Nicholson on the tackle after 12 more.
Mr. Rodriguez, Eli Cox show. They're ham and egging this thing now. Rodriguez fumbles it. His right guard will recover it. This time his right guard escorts it right into the line. And it's a great job. It's actually Darian Kennard pulling from his right tackle spot, showing some athleticism, pulling all the way from the edge to be the lead blocker.
Chris is just 4 yards shy of 200. And again, those runs are the best examples of why Rodriguez is so important to Kentucky's offense. Nothing's doing, and he still found a way to get 2 out of it.
He's got great leg drive. There's no doubt. Looked like he was going to be stacked up. He just kept pushing, kind of oozed forward. Those are the type yards defensively. You're sitting there and you're going, you can't afford to give up it. You can't give up that ooze. You end up being 1st and 10. You force a 2nd and 10 instead. You're staring at a 2nd and 8 because of those yards that just leaked out.
Fake to Rodriguez. Levis doesn't like what he sees down the field and gets sacked. Devin Nicholson, part of the crew that gets Levis to the ground.
You got to unload that football. Throw it away. It's a 2-receiver route. It's there or is it or it isn't. You got 8 guys in there protecting. Missouri with 1 unaccounted for. Nicholson gets there. Don't take the negative yardage play. Unload the football.
Third and 12.
Empty backfield. Chris Rodriguez at the bottom of your screen. Reflects out of the backfield.
Levis has Robinson, and he got him again.
Working against Chris Abrams strain. He looked right initially, hold that safety and come back to the left side of the formations. You see the Missouri defender down. Robinson almost didn't come up with that catch. Looked like that ball was going to sneak out of his left arm. Look at Levis. Nice touch on that ball. Robinson had to slow down a little bit, but a big throw downfield.
Ennis Rakestraw down on the field for Mizzou.
Well, if you watched Out of Pocket this past week on the SEC Network, you saw a piece by Andrea Carter with Chris Rodriguez and Cavassier Smoke. If you didn't watch it, good news. We're back every Wednesday, 7 o'clock Eastern time on the SEC Network. An hour of who knows what across the SEC, including my dog who makes picks. And based on this game, he might be 8-0 at the end of the night, guys.
Marvel is a magician. Chris Rodriguez on cue from you talking about him. Gets down to the 35. What are you feeding Marvel to make him so perfect?
Only the best puppy chow that money can buy. He's very smart, apparently smarter than me, because he's beating me in picks. He picked 4 games last week, 4 games this week, and a lot of people are paying attention with certain interests on the line of what my dog's doing week to week.
Speaking of dogs, our producer Tom Schofield's dog's name is Blaze. Can Blaze Aldridge and the Tigers get off the field here on defense on 2nd and 4? Aldridge and company come in there. It's 3rd down.
Blaze Aldridge was the first defender there.
It's a great name for a dog. Or a linebacker that transfers from Rice and becomes a guy that Missouri quickly counts on at 3.5 sacks last week. That's his 11th tackle tonight.
He really has. He's been active. There's no doubt. And you look at Rodriguez, he still fell forward, but Aldridge there enough to slow him down.
To Rodriguez, Noah fake and Levis. Look at that dive. Fakes out more than me. Aldridge gets him to the ground, but not before another first down.
Rodriguez really sold it right here. Watch him roll over the ball and sell it. All the defenders, other than Aldridge.
I mean, that's like a pool belly flop that Levis has done 3 or 4 times tonight.
Looks painful, man. You land on the football, you're not coming up with any air, that's for sure. Just barely tripped up right there by Aldridge.
Only 3:55 to go. Mizzou has 2 timeouts. Rodriguez doesn't get much. Here's Chris Turner. Mizzou down 7. If they give up any points, it's going to be tough to come back. With such little time left as Rodriguez goes out and smoke comes in, and Liam Cohen, the offensive coordinator for Kentucky, works that clock.
That's the idea. Is you see Levis checking his play late. You want to bleed that play clock all the way down. He's got 10 seconds on the shot clock now.
End around to Robinson. This worked earlier. And he slides down at the 21-yard line. Did he stay in bounds? Yes, he did.
A smart play. That's good awareness. If you're going to call a perimeter run, you got to trust the ball carrier to be smart at the boundary. Yeah, you want to get yards. It's about clock. See that just kind of little toss. Robinson, that's smart. There's Liam Cohen, the play caller, new offensive coordinator here at Kentucky.
Said Robinson is the perfect kid to coach.
Never makes the same mistake twice.
Now on 3rd and 4, Levis looks around, takes off, and gets hit and loses his body at the 19-yard line, maybe just barely shy. Martez Manuel and Devin Nicholson are the 2 that made the tackle.
We might take another look at that spot.
Timeout. Missouri, first timeout this half.
Okay.
This will be a 30-second timeout. Please reset the game clock at 2 minutes, 15 seconds. 2:15. Thank you.
Stitch, they mark it 4th and a full yard. Seems about right. As he has to get to the 18, they mark him down at the 19.
Yeah.
So since that's the case, if you're Kentucky here, do you take the 3 points with a chip shot field goal for Ruffalo to make it a 2-possession game, or do you roll the dice?
I think you give Ruffalo. Get him out there and make it a 2-possession game right here. We've seen it. Missouri's moved the football. How did they move it, though? Were they getting it in chunks? They weren't. They're giving up the underneath pass. A lot of it's been broken tackles after the catch. You see that's exactly what Mark Stoops is doing.
He's made 7 in a row, Ruffalo has. This will be a 37-yard attempt. Chance Poor, the holder, gets a good one down, and it's blocked! Off the carom, it's picked up at midfield by Chris Abrams-Drain. Blaze Aldridge got a hand on it.
Look at Drain. He's got his quarterback right there. Oh, Blaze Aldridge just runs right between Kenneth Horsey and Darian Kennard. Unreal. And that wasn't running around the edge. He came right up the middle just about. Takes it right off of Ruffalo's foot. And now you say, it looks like Abrams-Drain might be nicked. So here you are with half a football field to defend in a one-possession game.
Fake to Beatty. Bazelak drifts back, throws the deep ball down the field. There was some hand checking there between Valentine and Cooper. It's incomplete.
Yeah, Valentine was step for step. You get the quick change, you go for the dagger right out of the gate. Missouri stuck with it. They haven't hit many, but they have drawn a couple of PIs. But can you catch it with the big momentum shift? Instead, Valentine did a good job of staying in phase.
Bazelak, nice pass to the sideline to Dove. First down, Mizzou in Wildcats territory.
Plenty of time, 2 timeouts to play with. And what Kentucky's MO has been, they don't give shots up over top, but they've been allowed the receivers in front of them.
Bazelak throws it at the feet of Dove.
Bazelak's, yeah, he kind of, when he let go of that football, I don't know if it was his throwing motion, but he immediately kind of grabbed his lower back. Watch it right here. On the hitch. Well, he hitches it first, where to let go of it. This is 50th pass attempt. Might just be fatigue.
It's a career high. Brad White, the defensive coordinator for Kentucky, trying to get his Wildcats to make a stand. 2nd and 10. Bazelak to the sideline, and it's caught by Barrett Bannister, the 5th-year senior from Arkansas. It'll be 3rd and short.
Another empty backfield that time. Bannister, sure-handed receiver. As you see now, so they sub back in. We'll see if they can get the crowd to have a factor. As you see Tyler Beatty substitute back into the football game. We've seen repeatedly that Beatty is just outside, motions back into the backfield. He's been a great receiver all night.
Bazelak doesn't see it coming, and down he goes, J.J. Weaver.
They motioned Beatty all the way across the formation. And they brought a double-barrel blitz off the right side.
This will be a 30-second timeout. Please put 1:38 on the game clock. 1:38.
You've only got one blocker over there in right tackle.
Correction, 1:36.
Hiram White.
1:36.
He picks up DeAndre Square. Weaver runs free.
Bazelak has been hobbled on this drive.
Thank you.
1:36 to go, 4th and 13.
You see Brady Cook. He's warming up because Bazelak, he's not just limping. He is taking all the weight. Look at it. And the challenge you have here is moving the pocket, not an option.
Dawson Downing is on the field back there with Bazelak. It's 4th and 13. Everyone in Lexington is on their feet.
Kentucky with 3-down look. They're going to play coverage and only bring 3.
Off the hands of Lovett. Turnover on downs. Carrington Valentine helped break it up.
Bazelak out there playing on one leg. That's a gutty down by him. Ends up getting flushed versus a 3-man rush. They still move him up his spot. Just didn't get enough on that one. Valentine underneath the throw. The Tigers give it back to Kentucky on downs.
Just one timeout remaining for Missouri, so that means Kentucky can just simply kneel on it. Kentucky's going to improve to 6-0 in the series in games decided by 8 points or less.
Missouri, third and final timeout of the half.
And
This
as
will be
you
a
see,
30-second timeout.
that is their final timeout.
1-2-8 under the clock. 1-2-8.
It's the final timeout for Missouri, so no timeouts left as we send it down to Alyssa.
Yeah, guys, we talked about this earlier in the game. One of the initiatives that ESPN and the SEC Network pushed throughout the season is extra yard for teachers. And Taylor, you mentioned it, how important teachers and educators are to our society. And I know that pretty firsthand. My mother was a teacher. My little brother is now entering into the world of education. Shout out to him. He just got his first full-time teaching job leading into this school year. He's a history teacher. And while it gets a little annoying that he's much smarter than me, he's doing a great job in the classroom. So shout out to all our teachers out there.
That's awesome.
Is he teaching Marvel how to make all these picks? What kind of class is he teaching?
Missouri cannot stop the clock with 88 ticks left. As Kentucky is going to move to 2-0 on the season and improve to 8-4 in this great series with Missouri. Mark Stoops, trying to get his players off the field, is going to tie Fran Kersey for the most conference wins by a Kentucky Wildcats coach.
You see him. Called his quarterback over. The end of game sequence.
And Stoops does it in his 101st game as a head coach, the most by anyone in program history. It wasn't always pretty for Levis tonight, as he wanted to run around wisely to make sure he could get the game clock below the play clock. Smart move by the quarterback.
He almost didn't field that snap cleanly.
Drinkwitz is saying he can't do that and wants the official to come over to the sideline.
That's what Mark Stoops and Liam Cohen said. He came over and said, look, we're going to need you to burn a little bit more clock. There was a discrepancy there with the game clock. I think what Coach Drinkwitz is saying is you can't simulate like you're going to kneel and then run around. But that's not what he did. He actually almost fumbled the ball.
Then a Missouri player went down. I'm sure many will wonder why he went down, but it did give Drinkwitz.
The injury occurred inside of a minute and was the only reason the clock was stopped. There'll be a 10-second subtraction from the game clock. Clock operator, please put 16 seconds on the game clock. By rule, the clock will start on the ready for play signal.
And the game is going to end with Coach Drinkwitz upset with that last kneel down. I know it's no consolation to come close. Boy, did Missouri fight Kentucky tooth and nail tonight. Maybe outmanned. Certainly Kentucky was more physical at the line of scrimmage, but Missouri gave the Wildcats a 60-minute fight in Lexington tonight.
There's no doubt. I mean, the fight in this Missouri Tigers team, you have to be thrilled with that. They are outmatched. You know, you look along the line of scrimmage, Kentucky largely dominated this game. If you don't have those turnovers, especially going in, it's a different dynamic in this entire game. As you see the conversation continuing.
He does not like it. Kentucky will play Chattanooga at noon next week on SEC Network Plus. Then at South Carolina the following week. As we take a look at what happened here one more time. Saying you can't simulate a kneel down and then run around for 5 additional seconds. And had he not done that, Kentucky would have had to most likely punt with a few seconds remaining, but instead the game ends with a 35-28 win. Mizzou has Southeast Missouri State at noon Eastern next week. Then they're at Boston College. And again, the Cats play Chattanooga here. And then they're at the South Carolina Gamecocks. These are two teams that are going to be a real problem in the SEC East this year.
Well, you know, you look at Kentucky. If they play this game cleaner offensively from a turnover perspective, it's a totally different story. And you talk about a fumble going into the end zone, literally, and then it go in the opposite direction. But Missouri offensively finding ways to get answers versus a defense that was going to force them to earn their way down the field.
Mark Stoops is with Alyssa.
Coach, it was a hard-fought game. What does it mean to get the win in this matchup?
It's always a good matchup with them. It seems like it's always a very close game. We're evenly matched. Coach Drink does a heck of a job. You could tell it was very difficult tonight, even when there were stretches where we felt like we were in good control. It's never easy.
Offensively, Chris Rodriguez with a career night. We know he had that fumble, but he made up for it with that big touchdown the second half. What can you say about his performance?
Well, it was really good for him to bounce back. We knew he would. It was really important for us to start that second half when we got the interception and Chris capped it off. You know, that was a big part of it because at the end of the first half, they took away a lot of momentum.
You preached energy coming into this one. Your defense looked juiced all night long. What did you think about the way they played?
Well, I thought they played just okay. I give them credit. They do a heck of a job. They keep you off balance. Their quarterback's tough, you know, and so we did what we had to do to win. There's a lot of things to get cleaned up, but we pulled it out.
It was a packed house tonight. It was loud. You ever have any hard time hearing down there?
It was fun. It was fun to get that atmosphere back. So we greatly appreciate the support, and it's always good.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Guys, back up to you.
Well, Kentucky is 2-0 on the season as Mark Stoops has 25 conference wins, tied with Fran Kersey for the most in school history. After this 35-28 win, we send you back to the studio and Dari Noko.